is meteorologist Mark Molnar. As always, I want to thank you for joining me for this edition of Weather Eastern and Hurricane Eastern. Are the tropics done? Well, we'll break all that down for you. Hurricane Sam becoming extratropical in the North Atlantic, still a very formidable hurricane and force to be reckoned with. Victor on its way out, and we have that system off the southeast coast of the U.S. We're going to be watching during the next several days. We'll see how much rainfall is going to be output in the southeast. That's going to be our big focus. And will this system have any chance of becoming a named storm? We'll break down all the model data, the structural aspects of the storm, and where I think its effects are going to be headed. Also, I am working on my 2021-2022 winter weather outlook. I did fail to put that out last year. I think things were just so crazy in 2020, so I'll get that out the door for you and inform you of what I think is going to happen in the upcoming winter. We'll break down the next couple weeks in October and see what effect that NAO Index going negative could have an impact, especially on the eastern part of the U.S. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell button so you're alerted when I come out with one of these videos. Question or comment down below. If you have any of those, smash the like button, gets the video more exposure, and guess what? There are timestamps down below. If you wish to skip ahead, I will not be offended. Let's get right into it. And taking a look very briefly at Sam here, this is way up in the North Atlantic. You have Greenland, and then you have Iceland up there. It's going to spin towards Iceland, as you can see, as a very strong extratropical system, anywhere from 90 to 100 mile per hour winds here, but it'll be extratropical. It won't be a hurricane anymore. It's going to impact a lot of areas up here, a lot of wave action, and then eventually probably some heavy snow up here in Greenland. So lots of heavy rain, wind, coastal areas, lots of effects from Sam, and battering waves all along as far east as Western Europe here. And we're taking a look at the rest of the tropical Atlantic here. We're going to break it down model-wise right after this and satellite data. But take a look at all of these systems out here. Victor pretty much fizzling out here. We'll watch the intertropical convergence zone going to remain very active, but that drier air and dust will be a bigger factor coming off of Africa and as it pushes southward into the intratropical convergence zone. And I'll go over that with the satellite information here, especially on the water vapor loop. And Sam, way up on the northern part of your screen, buzzsawing its way out of here. And that system off the southeast coast, that's the system we're going to go into much bigger detail, especially when I go into the model data. Let's get right into it. Taking a look at the Gulf of Mexico, infrared satellite photo. Look at this. Just a big old stalled out frontal boundary. Now, you do have to watch stalled out frontal boundaries this time of year. You do get persistent showers and thunderstorms. In any areas that do persist, we could have the potential for some sort of tropical development. I don't see anything in the next 5 or 6 days here, so we're looking good, but we'll have to watch. Sometimes these systems, they stall out and then something forms, especially on the end of the front. Let's get to the rest of the Atlantic. There's that tropical wave I'm watching that could interact with the front along the southeast coast here. So big old plume of moisture. Look where it's getting its moisture from here. A very, very good source. And then on the intertropical convergence zone, nothing of interest out here. Look at this big blob coming off of Africa here. We'll have to watch that. Nothing of interest as of yet. And there's Victor. Pretty much all its showers and thunderstorms being sheared on the northeast side. It is pretty much gone. And I wanted to briefly show you the water vapor loop here. Showing areas, see these areas right here, these darker oranges. This is dry air, and then you got all this blue area and greens. That's the very moist air. You see out here in the Central Atlantic, we have an area of very, very dry air. This is not good for hurricanes, and look at how it's sinking off the coast here. So we have a lot of areas of potential dust as well and training into this, and it's kind of pushing into the intertropical convergence zone here, kind of squelching development. So we'll continue to watch this. This could be a trend, and if it is, we might be showing a fall off in the amount of storms forming, but we'll watch here for any possible trends. We do have that big area of tropical moisture plume here from the Caribbean, Central America, all the way up to this tropical wave. And taking a look at the tropical Atlantic here, starting off with the GFS. We're starting off with Monday here, thanks to the GFS and tropicaltidbits.com. Look at this, Sam pushing off into the North Atlantic there. There's Victor. There's that system off the southeast coast. Let's put this into motion for your Tuesday. Sam, look at this, almost like two vortices here. This is a pretty intense system. This has been quite a system to behold. It will have impacts continuing in eastern Canada here, eventually Greenland, Iceland, and then Western Europe. There's that system off the southeast coast becoming a bit more formidable. This is the cyclonic vorticity here, the spin up, and the darker reds indicate areas where there is circulation developing there. And there's an open wave where Victor was. And we head off into Wednesday. Look at this. SAM, this massive blob in the North Atlantic, causing major havoc. And then we have this system off the southeast coast, continuing to spin moisture inland. So whether this becomes a named storm or not, it will continue to spin moisture inland. And then we head off into Friday. Look at this. SAM just retrograding here, probably effects of snow, wind, all sorts of stuff here in Greenland and Iceland. And look at this, off the southeast coast, we're still dealing with this system. And we head off into the weekend, same thing, it's still there. And then some sort of frontal boundary, you see. This is probably going to head up towards and meet forces with SAM. But across the rest of the Atlantic, with the exception for the intertropical convergence zone, we'll have to watch for spin-ups. Not much to talk about. The CMC model, here it is. Starting off with your early Tuesday, look at this. We have that SAM way up here in the North Atlantic, system off the southeast coast, what's left of Victor here, that weakness. And then we continue to push SAM into the North Atlantic here for your Wednesday. We have that system off the southeast coast, pushing moisture inland here across the Carolinas. And then no other system out here developing that we can see. We head off into your Friday. SAM really bombing out here just east of Greenland and west of Iceland. And that system off the southeast coast kind of losing it here. It's still there to a certain extent, but not really spinning it up to a named system until you get, look at this, by Monday, something tries to develop here, you can see. And we head off to the Euro. Take a look at the Euro here, King Euro. Heading off into your Tuesday. There's SAM bombing into the North Atlantic. What's left of Victor here. And then off the southeast coast, we have the potential. I see potential verticity here. Not really spinning up too much. It's not as impressive here on the Euro. There is something there. You can see it. A little bit of a weakness. SAM really bombing out here in the North Atlantic. And then we put that into motion. And the Euro doesn't really develop anything here. So let's take a look at the modeling here, especially the southeast. We're starting off with the northeast here. This is later during the night on Tuesday night. This is where the heaviest rain will be across New York, Pennsylvania. Nothing to cause any flooding, which is great news. But there's that system off the southeast coast that I was talking about, all that area of heavy rain. And then you got that frontal boundary across the southeast. This is the GFS. Thank you, Tropical Tidbits here. And look at this. We head this into motion. We push that front towards the west here, so we cut off the moisture plume. This heads out, an area of low pressure. And here we have across the southeast that system ramping up, getting a moisture connection from the Gulf and from the Atlantic as well, from this system out here. As we head into Wednesday, there's that system trying to close off here on the GFS. Will this be a named system? We'll have to watch and see here. But we have all this moisture here across Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama. This is midday on Wednesday. Still kind of dry across the northeast as we have high pressure kicking in, keeping mostly dry conditions. But Thursday we have a run here, that system, northern system, and then we have the southern system stalling out here. High pressure trying to block here to the northeast. And that system keeping moisture plumes heading inland across the Carolinas. And Friday, we have heavier rain here across the western Carolinas, eastern Georgia, as this system kind of washes out and gets entrained into the frontal boundary. And then we head off to the CMC model here. Here we go. Similar pattern here, although it's showing a little bit more of a moisture plume here kicking in off the Gulf into northern Georgia. Look at that. Some heavy rain for early Tuesday. There's that system off the southeast coast. We put this into motion, and look at that. Spinning off towards Thursday. System nears North Florida, Georgia, South Carolina area with lots of moisture heading inland here. Heavy rains showing a little bit further west than the GFS here. And into Thursday, we kick that system with a big moisture plume developing off the Atlantic, being pushed into central North Carolina. And that's a lot of heavy rain there. That's nothing to mess around with. As we head off into Friday, system kind of washing out and congealing here off the coast and kicking out, so to speak. But look at that blocking high here to the northeast. And here we are with the negative NAO Index that's continuing here. We went pretty negative here October 1st. And we're going to continue to stay negative. In fact, look at as we head towards the middle part of the month, the NAO really starts to fall off a cliff here. But the pattern just isn't seeming to line up now. Sometimes there is a delayed effect, so we'll have to watch for that. But right now, it just doesn't seem like a negative NAO index. And the upper air pattern for North America. We have that trough in the Pacific Northwest, but as you notice, This is very interesting. We got this massive ridge in the central and eastern part of North America, and then a cutoff low here in the southern central plains and the Mississippi River Valley. So this will continue to dominate our weather. This really does not look like a negative NAO, but here we are. Above average temperatures will continue across especially the eastern two-thirds of North America. And here we go across the Northeast Tuesday. You've made it through your Monday. So Tuesday, what does that mean? That's scattered showers here across much of the region. We got temperatures mostly into the lower 70s from upstate New York southward into Pennsylvania and New Jersey. It is a cold spot here in Albany and Burlington, stuck in the upper 50s as that front has sunk to the south and some clouds persist. But look at that. Across much of the Northeast, we're well above average here. Even Pittsburgh pushing almost 80 degrees. We have a chance of showers, even some thunderstorms into the darker green there. Places like Harrisburg, D.C., Scranton, Wilkes-Barre area, over to New York City. So there you have it. Kind of a cloudy, rainy type pattern here. And here we go for your Tuesday across the Southeast. Not looking too bad in places like Houston and New Orleans. Looking pretty hot there in Tampa, 92, 91 in Miami. We will be watching that system east of the Bahamas there slowly move towards the southeast throughout the week, and we'll start to have some moisture and train into the southeast here as I put these maps into motion throughout the week. 74 in Atlanta, stormy, and 75 in Birmingham, 78 stormy Nashville as well. We're not looking at any severe weather, but torrential downpours are a potential here. 2-inch plus in some of these darker green zones as this frontal boundary kicks to the east. And take a look at your Wednesday across the Northeast. High pressure starts to build in from southern Ontario here, just north of Lake Ontario. You can see it up there. The front gets pushed a little bit farther to the west and to the south here, so showers won't be as prevalent. Temperatures will be on the rise, though. Look at that. 80 in Pittsburgh, 78 in Erie, 77 in Buffalo, 72 in Harrisburg. We head to the Northeast. It gets a little bit cooler, but come on, people. Look at this. This is pretty warm for this time of year. So don't see any cold spells happening anytime soon here in the Northeast. Look at this. It's just we're socked in with well above average temperatures, and your lows this week will be more comparable to your average highs. And here we are Wednesday across the Southeast. A low pressure and the front sinks to the south along the Gulf Coast and entrains lots of tropical moisture well northward here into the northern system across the Great Lakes in the Northeast. So we will have focusing lots of moisture from Panama City, Panhandle of Florida, all the way up through Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, and all the way up through the Appalachians. So lots of rain, continuing with the threat of flash flooding potential as well. You see that low pressure off the coast of the Bahamas and Florida to the east there. That is that tropical system we'll be watching as the week wears on here. And Thursday across the Northeast, here we go. High pressure retreating to the east over New England, keeping it dry from places the I-81 corridor, New York and Pennsylvania on eastward, staying dry, but kind of on the cloudy to partly cloudy side. The rest of the Northeast dealing with some showers moving in and some showers and thunderstorms across Erie and Pittsburgh, Lake Erie region, and even down to D.C. So about a 30 to 40% chance in that light green, a tenth to a quarter inch, and then more like a half to 3/4 of an inch towards that darker green zone during the afternoon hours of your Thursday. Look at that. Temperatures really warming up. This is well above average for this time of year. 77 in Harrisburg and Pittsburgh, respectively there. 76 in Syracuse, 73 in Concord. And look at that, all the way up into Maine. It's in the 70s. 74 in New York, 76 in Atlantic City. And here we go Thursday across the Southeast. That storm system pretty much stalling. Congealing forces here with that tropical low off the coast of Florida here, moving slowly to the northwest. And more tropical moisture getting entrained here across parts of Georgia, eastern Alabama, the Carolinas, up through the Appalachians here. So heavier rains continuing, moisture streaming north ahead of this system and up and over this stationary front. It's the focus here. So we got a lot of lift going on here across the Southeast. And temperatures will be held down in Atlanta and Raleigh with the rainfall and being north of the front as well. Along the mid-80s here, New Orleans, Panama City, and then really toasty here in Florida, 92 in Tampa, 91 in Miami. And Friday across the Northeast, frontal boundary kicking to the north here. Temperatures continuing to be into the mid-70s, low to mid-70s in most areas. And it's just it's amazing how warm we're staying here. We're not anywhere near frosts or freezes here. High pressure really retreating to the east, so you got that return flow out of the south. Showers and maybe a rumble of thunder, and especially in the darker greens there, the medium green zone over by Buffalo, State College, Harrisburg, Pittsburgh, and Erie. Anywhere from like a quarter to a third of an inch of rain, and in the lighter greens, probably a tenth of an inch or less. So we're not looking at an all-day rain event here as that stalled out stationary front continues. And here we go for your TGIF here across the southeast. We got temperatures are going to be held down across the Carolinas once again in Georgia by the clouds and the rain. We're going to continue to have the area of low pressure just off the Carolina coastline here, and the front finally pushing across the Florida peninsula. Showers and thunderstorms continuing to push inland here as that tropical wave continues to interact with this frontal boundary, anywhere from 1 to 2 inches. So we're going to have probably continued flash flooding threat from Georgia, the Carolinas, maybe as far north as eastern Tennessee and southern Virginia. So we'll watch for continued heavy rains here, but temperatures will be held down, and we head south across Florida. We get into the 90s and then back towards Texas as well, where the sunshine will be out. And my extended outlook for my hometown viewers from Binghamton to Scranton's upper Susquehanna region of upstate New York into northeast Pennsylvania. Look at this. We've got a really interesting pattern setting up here. There's not a lot of sunshine this week, but temperatures will be rather mild. This does not feel like a negative NAO, as I was saying earlier. So we are stuck in this very stagnant pattern, very blocky pattern. It's keeping it rather unseasonably warm here. Look at this, pretty much lower 70s every day, and look at those overnight lows. These are more indicative of our over daytime highs here. So look at, we got 61, 60, 59, 60 all the way through the week. So it's going to be very warm, and there'll be little chances of rain showers too, with some disturbances that move through. Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday is the best chance of rain, a tenth of an inch or less, pretty much every day here. And Wednesday and Thursday are your dry days, but like I says, only a very slim chance of that sun peeking out from time to time. So very cloudy. As always, I want to thank you for joining me for this edition of Weather Eastern and Hurricane Eastern. Pretty shortly, we will be phasing out Hurricane Eastern for Winter Eastern. So watch for my winter weather outlook for 2021-2022 coming out. I noticed last year I actually didn't put one out. Things were just so crazy last year with everything that was going on. So I promise I will get one out this year. And don't forget to like my Facebook pages, Media Mark, Weather Northeastern, also Hurricane Northeastern, and Twitter. It's now Weather Eastern. It's just Weather Eastern, all one word.